Sorry.
Okay. How many here have heard of Inanna?
A what?
Inanna. I-N-N-A-N-A.
What is it?
It's a fertility goddess, very old, circa 1900 to 3500 BC.
It's 1915.
1300 to what?
1900 to 3500 BC.
From what area?
She's Sumerian, Babylonian style. Also known as what some people say is Ishtar. Easter. Ishtar. It's kind of hard to pronounce. It sounds like Easter. That's where Easter came from. Same person, just worship two different names. Ishtar is Akkadian. Goddess of grain, war, fertility, sexual love, and the lady of myriad offices, which myriad means is a great number of persons, things, or 10,000. It's where the word came from is kind of confusing. It's like Greek or Latin or something like that, variations put together. And another part of it is Inanna is the sister of Marduk, another god around the same time. Also, her brother is also known as Marduk, M-A-R, and is M-E-R. And I read another part about this is kind of weird. I got to print out about some strange stuff. First one is supposed to be from the reptilian race known as the Anunnaki. Anybody hear of them before?
The what?
Anunnaki. Anunnaki.
Spell it.
Similar to Lemurian?
A-N-N-U-N-A-K-I.
London.
They're supposed to be, well, I've read they're supposed to be some of the first gods to come down, and they're the Anunnaki were part of the Egyptian faith, that they're the gods of Egypt. So they're way old. That's where they came from. They're supposed to be Anunnaki. And it's also said that they're like a reptilian race, which is kind of far out. That's what I was telling you. There's some strange stuff I was getting into. Murder's mother was supposed to be Anunnaki, and is what I've got out of the dictionary is various unnamed Sumerian deities, also Babylonian earth spirits, or genii, which is singular for genius, servitors of the gods. So they're like the right hand man of the boss in a lot of ways. And I also wrote a little note here. Well, we're also known as aliens from Planet X and Nibiru, as they're saying that where they came from, because the way that the planet is supposed to be coming around and circling around close enough to Earth, they say when it does that, then they transport back and forth, and they stay here for a while and come back around later on.
What's the rotation saying?
No, I didn't look that up. I was trying to stay on the focus of just.
It's like about every 5,000 years. I think
They're saying that they brought a lot of the stuff over to the people, like you've seen in the hieroglyphs of the giant sitting there with the little adult sitting on the lap.
Could that be where like some of the myths and about how the pyramids were built and things like that was because they thought they were built by aliens and.
Yeah, we'll see that Anunnaki were supposed to be giants. And they have dug up, and I've seen lots of pictures of it, they just don't put it out, but they've dug up guys that are like 10 feet tall and stuff like that. Huge people. And they're saying that that's how they're big and strong, that's how they're able to do these. And yeah, it's a whole big long of the story with that stuff, but that's interesting stuff. Now I guess if Margaret's mother is Anunnaki, I guess then that they're part of the family, because another god, Enlil, E-N-L-I-L, is also Anunnaki and is a higher person over them or something like that in the group. Let's see. Okay, here's another weird part I read as I kind of I was reading through this part first, and I thought it was really interesting. I had to print it out, but this is where it talks about how Marduk and Nana were actually living gods, to where they had to sustain life through pure blood of people, because a long time ago the pure blood was more pure than it is nowadays. That's how they sustained life. Their lifespan was long. When I read it, said that they sustained their life up to 18,000 years, 16,000 years longer than they're supposed to be living, but because they kept gorging themselves on the blood, they lived longer, but they both went insane.
Is that by blood from the animals or from humans?
So like human sacrifice.
Oh, humans.
Marduk was married to different races of a lot of people like him that were not regular people. What they call it, the red people or something like that, which is like crossbreeding. It would be like a black guy and a white woman nowadays, and it wasn't really regarded as nice. And they'd have children, and he would feed off his own children because it was more pure blood than the humans were.
So it had to be as close to his blood as possible.
Yeah, because over the thousands of years that they're in charge of Earth, they're feasting off of them, is that they found they could live longer that way.
Did they feasted on the blood? The children died?
Yeah.
So they would have to feast on the purest Anunnaki blood that they could find.
Well, first it was from the first humans, because it was pure blood. It wasn't tainted like it is, as it goes on down the line with breeding and interbreeding with different races and stuff like that. It tainted the blood somewhat, and wasn't doing its job properly. And they lived long in the first place, but then when they drank the blood, then they lived longer. Yeah.
And more purified
Do
then.
you think there could be any races like lately or the last 200 to 300 years, like the Anasazi and the Tuzi Indians, that also feed on the blood like that, that are really direct descendants? Is that possible?
It's always possible. Maybe they're following that kind of system. Just in different name.
Well, see, I do know that there's a Native American tribe called the Abenaki, that they used to be relative cannibals against their enemies. They raid camps in
South American tribes like that too.
Yeah, there's plenty of them.
They won't eat anybody but their enemy.
Well, see, the tribe I've heard of, which there's thousands that live there, is that they would eat their enemies in honor of them because they were the best of the best. Yeah, but then, well, pretty much. But it's one of those, they were honoring their enemies by going, you know what? You had one wicked sword arm, so I'm going to eat it to take most of your power into me. Or they had the best eyesight because they were archers and they eat their eyes and whatnot. But it sounds like Abenaki sounds close to Anunnaki. And I know they did some of that, only it was more malicious, as in, well, he died, so whatever.
They also, which I didn't put in here, which I've read about Anunnaki, was they came down here and saw that they were more powerful than us and just took over. Some treated like shit. Some treated us like family, like children, and took care of us. Giving us ways to make stuff, machinery-wise, building, whatever.
So it could also be related to the South American tribes that have on their hieroglyphs images of tall beings flying stuff and having modern looking
that's the
utensils and objects that.
All the different parts of the world, they had the same thing. These giants helping them.
But did they barter that knowledge for human blood? South Americans were known for human sacrifices all the time.
Yeah,
the moon came out from
that could
behind
be a
the
big
tree,
part
so
of
they
it
had to
too.
kill someone. But I mean, how they took over, you have to have some sort of. People have to have demand for what you have, or you can't take over, basically.
I mean, you got to figure that these people don't even know nothing. I mean, they're probably, yeah. They don't know much, except that they know fear, and they see something floating down, and this big, huge, giant thing comes off there, and has all these different wonderful gadgets. To you that's a god, and you're gonna say whatever it wants. You're gonna do whatever it wants. So, that's how. That's a lot of times. A lot of people say that's how it started with the gods and all that. Because if you look at all the old paintings, it shows found saucers in them.
Yeah, like recently, South American government officials found hieroglyphs in the main Mayan ruins.